Welcome to the Thriving Farmer Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Kilpatrick. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and celebrate sustainable farming. We believe that you can build a profitable, sustainable farm that gives you true farm freedom. Join us as we talk to farmers, innovators, educators, and entrepreneurs to glean their top takeaways in business and life. Hey, Thriving Farmers, Michael Kilpatrick here with another episode of Thriving Farmer Podcast. And today my guest is Katherine Nietmann, who and her husband Spencer run Moose Meadow Organic Farm. And Katherine, tell me again, where are you guys located?
We're in Clark Fork, Idaho, way up in the Panhandle.
All right. So you guys are really cold up there.
We're pretty cold up there, yeah.
All right. So what zone would they say that is?
I call ourselves like a 5A.
Okay. So that's actually a little tiny bit warmer than we were in upstate New York. Because we were up there, we were for the 4A. So yeah, I guess that, even though you're closer up there, it's still a slightly warmer than we were.
Sure.
So,
yeah. We're on a lake, so it's a little bit buffered.
Gotcha. Okay. So talk to us a little bit about how'd you get started farming?
Well, my husband and I came at it from similar angles. I went to college in Maine, and at my first year of college, I was lucky enough to take a class that was taught by two local farmers, and the whole course had like 12 people in it. And the point of the course was to learn how to design your own farm business.
Okay.
And I took it out of interest and was totally hooked. And the professors at the end were like, well, do any of you want to start your own farm? And I just shot my hand up and no one else did. And I was like, wait, what? You're not as excited as I am about this? So I was hooked at that point and kind of tailored my studies in school. I went to a liberal arts college, Bates College, and tailored my studies towards environmental studies. But then after college, I just kind of pursued the path to my own farm. I took some jobs managing farms for other people and other organizations, specifically Bowdoin College. I managed their organic garden program for 5 or 6 years. And then went on to manage the agriculture program at Kennebec Valley Community College for a couple of years before moving out here to Idaho. And Spencer was similar. He and I met at the Bowdoin Organic Garden, and he got a degree in biology, also tailored his studies to agriculture since that's what he was interested in. And then just took jobs out after college managing farms for other people. So he worked on Turner Farm on North Haven Island, and then he managed the farm to table program at the Point Lookout Resort in Kendall, Maine. Yep. So he and I were doing that, working separately, saving up. We were both salaried in our various jobs, saving up to move out here, basically.
Okay, very cool. And what year did you end up moving out and starting the farm?
2016.
Okay, so you've been at it for about 5 years now. Awesome.
That's right. Yeah.
So what would you say your big takeaways as you were, working for other people were? What was, let's say, like the biggest thing you learned while you did that?
Well, it's an amazing opportunity to learn to farm while getting paid, basically. So we had salaries and had free reign to, design and run the various programs we were working in. And so we were able to trial different things, trial different crops, trial different high tunnels, trial different automation systems, trial different irrigation systems, all of those sorts of things without having to shoulder the risks. If something failed, we were still going to get a paycheck. So that was huge for us to be able to kind of cut our teeth with a little cushion, I guess, under us.
Yeah. And I know, I know about Turner Farm, and they have quite the budget to be able to, do that sort of experimenting. So that's nice to be able to have, some money behind the farming to, again, do those trials and errors and again, be able to fail a few times.
Sure. Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about what's a typical week look like on the farm? Obviously, the seasons vary, but let's say this time of year, what does that look like?
Sure. It's November. And we're a year-round farm. So we're down to harvesting once a week and delivering to a fall CSA, as well as 5 grocery store accounts and 4 restaurant accounts.
Okay.
So we're harvesting on Monday and Tuesday. Both wholesale orders get harvested Monday, retail orders get harvested Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday are delivery days then. And Thursdays we're doing production work. We're seeding microgreens and doing a few last in-ground plantings for the calendar year.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday we try and keep pretty light from now until, I don't know, early new year. And we have little bits of chores to do, watering, row cover management, but we try and keep those days pretty light to spend with ourselves and our family.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Now, mid-season, what does a day look like?
Bit more activity.
Okay.
We're harvesting twice a week. We're harvesting twice a week, May through October. And so that's a harvest day on Tuesday and a harvest day on Friday for both retail and wholesale.
Yeah.
And then Monday and Thursday, then we call picking days. So we're picking things that need to get picked twice a week or 3 times a week, regardless of orders. Yep. Things like squash and peppers and tomatoes, etc. And then Thursday, we're trying to do as much field work as possible. That's our main field work day. That's transplanting, bed prep, direct seeding, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And Saturday and Sunday, we try and take weekends off. We don't have a crew here, just a delivery driver. And Spencer and I do, there's always chores, but we just do the little bits of watering and cleanup and little bit of picking that need to happen on the weekend. But we're not working more than a couple hours a day each on those weekend days.
Nice. So talk to us a little bit about your sales strategies. Kind of, you've got CSA, you've got the wholesale, like how do those work?
Sure. The wholesale, we keep the same grocery store and restaurant accounts year round. And so in the summer, we're selling them a whole suite of microgreens, as well as spring mix, which is just, for us, that's just lettuce. And then tomatoes. And then in the winter, we're just selling them the suite of microgreens. And so we do that year round so that we just stay in touch with the produce managers. A couple of years we only sold to them in the summer. And then when we came crawling back in April or May, they're like, who are you? And it was hard to start that relationship over again. So it became important for us to try and have that consistency 52 weeks of the year. And then on the retail side of things, we have a 18-week summer CSA with about 100 families. And we're doing a fall CSA this year for the first time. It's about 80 families and it's 12 weeks. It'll go until Christmas. Okay. Then the rest of the year for retail, so January through most of May, we're running an online store, and there's no membership. We just weekly put what we have available into our store and send out an email to our customer list. And we're selling, $1,200 to $1,800 a week that way until the summer CSA starts up again. So.
Gotcha. So you're focusing really highly then on the microgreens, the greens, and what kind of prices are you guys getting up there? Because I know it sounds like you're pretty remote, but it sounds like you're making it work.
Yeah, we're making it work. The demand is huge. And I don't know if you pay attention to the real estate market, but it's pretty hot in this area right now. Yeah. People are moving here from all over. So yeah, like I said, demand is high. So for microgreens, we're selling mostly 2.5 ounce clamshells to grocery stores. Yeah. And they're putting them on the shelf for $3.75 to $3.99 usually. And we're taking home, I think we're taking home $2.15 a clamshell.
Okay. 215 a
And
clamshell.
then I
And what
think
size
so.
clamshell is that? Is that like a deep herb pack, or is it like a more of like a square, flatter one?
Yeah, it's a square, flatter one. They're we usually we get them wherever we can find them. But
Yeah.
usually Gen Pack 16-ounce
Okay. The
shell is what
16
they're called.
ounce. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We're using an 8 ounce, and then we're using a 16 ounce. Okay. So I know the exact size you're using. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 ounces. Okay. 215. Okay. Very cool. Now let's say something like summer squash. What's the price on that?
Well, we're only doing that retail, and
Okay.
we sell it by the bunch through our CSA, and our CSA lets us, like, we use a software program called Harvey. They
Yep.
let us put prices on each item. So we're charging $385 a bunch for that in the Harvey program.
Okay. And that's like a bunch of 3 squashes.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm always just interested to hear what people can get. All right, let's talk a little bit about your production systems. You guys look like you don't use tractors.
No, we don't. We do a lot of handwork. We own a BCS walk behind, but we wish we didn't. And we
Okay.
literally don't do any field work with it. So we are using the tilther heavily. We use that a lot. We're using a broad fork. We're using hand tools, wheelbarrows, buckets of compost, that sort of thing. You know, the footprint of our farm is pretty small. The fenced area is 2 acres. So that includes 1 acre of tunnels and field space, and then outbuildings and pathways make up the balance. And so you never have to walk more than about a quarter, 400 yards, I guess, to get from one place to another. So
Gotcha.
Manageable.
Yeah. So then, okay. So you got that. Now let's say like, so greens are grown, like you're using the paper pot transplanter.
That's right.
Okay. And so then, okay, so you're doing like a no-till system, just tilting the top, broad fork, putting compost on. And then how are you flipping beds?
We use tarps whenever we're able, if time allows, which most of the time we're able. So even for like a large crop like broccolini, we'll clip the plant off at soil level and then tarp it.
Okay.
For as long as it takes a few weeks in summer, or like right now they'll be tarped all winter. So tarps when we're able, and then when time does not allow, we're on hands and knees pulling out lettuce stubs or arugula stubs or whatever, before composting and broad forking and tilthing and getting it ready again.
Okay. Now what size of tarps do you guys use?
Most of them are like 50 by 100, I think.
Okay. So pretty large.
Yeah.
That size is pretty heavy.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy. Yeah. It will take 2 or 3 people to move them around.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I know we use like 32 by 100s, and we typically, we'll fold them up and then roll them to an end. And then we actually roll them right onto a pallet, and then we use the tractors to move them around from there. But yeah, you're doing it by hand.
We're doing it by hand. Most tarps live next to the field on which they'll be deployed. So we're not hauling them from point A to point B.
Gotcha. Yep. That totally makes sense. So let's talk a little bit about, you said you do have some team. Talk to us about the team you have.
Sure. It's in flux right now. We had a great team over the summer of 2 full-time farm workers, 1 part-time harvest day help, and then a delivery driver. And the 2 full-timers are now gone, and we have just 1 part-time harvest day helper. And that person will be with us through the whole winter. We'll bring someone else on early in the new year. It always catches us off guard how quickly we get busy. So we want to start someone new again quickly in the new year. And then we're thinking we'll bring on at least 1 other person for harvest day help again next summer. And then that we'll have a team of 2 full-timers and 2 part-timers, including our delivery driver.
Gotcha. Now, your CSA, do they pick up on site or you deliver the drop sites?
We have drop sites. Yeah, our farm's pretty remote, so we take the produce to two central locations for folks to come pick up.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. What would you say the hardest part of being a farmer is?
Oof. Since you're asking me today, today it's employee management. It never used to be anything that I spent time thinking about, but now that we have a baby, and so our reliance on employees is just greater now than it has been, and it's just a hard thing to figure out. How to attract and retain them, to how to manage them. I've just found that we have to be our best on a daily basis, or they pick up on it. And if we're not our best, then, like I said, they'll pick up on it, and then I feel guilty, or feel like I've made
when
a
you
mistake.
when you say your best, you mean your best at working or your best just attitude?
Oh, attitude, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Great attitude, but also, if I make a mistake in telling someone how to do something, or I don't give them the tools they need to succeed, then they can't succeed. And there's a mistake in production, and I feel bad.
Yeah.
So it's hard. That doesn't mean we don't nail it sometimes. Sometimes we have a really cohesive group going, but it's tricky.
No. Employees are always the hardest part of any business. Yeah, absolutely. And we're a rapidly growing farm, so we have a lot of people. Just onboarding them, helping them figure out all the details, that kind of stuff is always challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, thriving farmers, where are you on your thriving farmer journey? So if you go to our website, growingfarmers.com, you can click on the assessment button, and that will take you to a form, ask you a few different questions, and that will help you figure out where you are on the 5-stage thriving farmer journey. And what that does then is kicks you a customized PDF that gives you resources to know exactly what to focus on next in your business to go to the next level. So go to growingfarmers.com and click on the assessment. So talk to us a little bit about the early part of farming. Like, were there specific challenges you guys faced as you were getting started up? I know you talked about deer fencing. Was that necessary from day one, or?
Yeah, deer fencing caught us off guard a little bit. We weren't planning on building a deer fence in year one, but the deer pressure in our area is just so intense. We wouldn't be able to produce a leaf if we hadn't fenced it out. So yeah, we did that. Spencer and I had a combined savings of about $80,000 when we started, and it's family land, so no mortgage there. It never escapes me what a great blessing that is.
Yeah.
But so no mortgage, but we used those funds to build our house. We have a small cabin that we live in. And then we drilled a well, and we brought power to the site, and those three things ate up most of it. We were able to put up 2 high tunnels in year one, and we weren't eligible for grant funding at that point because the NRCS requires the land to be in production already. So we just decided to forge ahead. We needed the tunnels. We didn't get reimbursed for them. And then we both got part-time winter jobs for 6 or 7 months to kind of bolster the funds before our first summer season. But we sold food. Our first season was a fall and winter. And we did that intentionally so that, one, we would have income over the fall and winter, but also because there's not really anyone else doing what we're doing in this area. And so we kind of thought we would stand out to customers. And, it might be easy for us to attract them if we're the only option. So that worked out pretty well for us in year one.
Okay. Now, you already talked to us about the year round. What things do you grow in the tunnels during the winter?
They are filled with, our plant house is where we do the microgreens production. So those are, grown in trays, but then we have a total of 4 high tunnel greenhouses. 2 are heated, 2 are not. And so they all have a mixture of things. We like to mix up what goes in the heated and what goes in the unheated tunnels. But we're heavy on spinach and lettuce, and close follow-up, it's kale and chard. And then we have a whole bunch of radishes, celery, cilantro, parsley, dill, lettuce heads, if I didn't say that already, a bunch of Asian greens. Komatsuna is one we grow a lot of, and bok choy. We're doing some trial chicories. Yeah, that's the assortment. Then we have a ton of storage crops.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the cilantro and dill. Are those something that should you keep these houses? Do you heat them at all, or you said 2 are heated, 2 are not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
cilantro and dill will do well, and parsley, they'll do well unheated for us anyway.
Yep.
So we'll seed them in late July, transplant them in late August, and cilantro, parsley's a bit earlier than that. And then we're getting harvest off them now. So
yeah.
From the unheated houses.
Okay, cool. And then you said you're also doing obviously spinach and lettuce and the bok choy. Now the bok choy, do you bunch that, or you pick out the bigger outer leaves? How do you manage that?
The bok choy and the komatsuna we're bunching.
Okay.
So yeah, bok choy, we do less of that because we have a lot of slug pressure and they make it unmarketable. In the winter, it's slug pressure, but the komatsuna grows really upright, and the slugs, and it has skinnier stalks, so it doesn't get nearly as damaged. So that's what we're doing a lot of from now until, I don't know, till growth starts again in late February.
Yeah.
And yeah, we seed it in clusters, and we then bunch it and sell it as a nice tall bunch of greens.
So the komatsuna, you're doing like 3 seeds to a cell?
Yep, exactly.
And is that paper potted or just plant transplanted?
It's paper potted.
Okay.
It works great for us.
And are you doing like 4 rows in the bed?
Let's see. In a 30-inch bed, we're doing 5 rows, and they're 6 inches.
Okay, so you're super tight on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Now, another thing you mentioned earlier is you have a daughter. Congrats. Talk to us a little bit about, like, obviously farming with a very small child is very challenging. Talk to us about kind of like some of the things you've learned along that journey.
Yeah, we've learned a lot. She's almost 10 months, and as far as babies go, I think she's pretty easy, though she's our first. I don't have anything to compare it to. Yeah, she'll ride in the backpack for a good bit of her waking hours, and that way Spencer or I can do work while she's with us. At other times she'll hang out at if I can swing it, I'll like put her on in a field header, like a grass path, and I'll walk in the bed nearby. She likes to, crawl in the dirt and eat a little too much of it if we're not careful. We're working on, she's napping at home, which is great, but our baby monitor doesn't reach from our house to the farm. So we're working on, if she's napping, one of us is usually at home doing office work, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a joy having her. It's so different than any way we farmed before, because our brains are never fully focused. But it's such a joy. She lights up our day, she lights up our crew, and it's just fulfilling to have her out there with us all the time. So she brings challenges, but also a ton of rewards.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the marketing side of the farm. So obviously you've got the wholesale, you got the CSA. Do you have a problem, filling the CSA, or do you have pretty regular customers that come back?
Yeah, the CSA sells out pretty quickly. Within a week, I'd say we're selling all our 100 shares. So that feels good. And the demand is higher than the supply. So people are talking about us spreading by word of mouth. And so that feels good. We don't do a whole lot of marketing, I do put a lot of effort into our website. And I put a moderate amount of effort into our social media. And I guess I put a lot of effort into our email newsletter. I do spend a little over an hour on that each week. But it's a good position to be in when demand is higher than supply. So that we're only going to put in as much work as we have to, I guess, to keep going.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about, do you have a favorite crop you like to grow?
Yeah, I like to grow winter squash.
Really?
It's not a money maker for us, but it's one of my favorite things to eat, and it's just a set it and forget it crop. I love that about it. It's different from most of the other crops we grow. We don't grow very much of it, but honestly, it is my favorite.
Okay. Well, you're allowed to like one crop. Yeah. I mean, I love growing sweet potatoes, even though they're profitable. They're not hugely profitable for us, but yeah, I would say sweet potatoes and strawberries. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. Let's talk about the mental game. Obviously, farming, when you got started, was there, a big, can we make it happen? Or are you pretty confident knowing that you had the experience?
We were pretty confident. It helped having a lot of experience. Of course, when we actually started out on our own, it felt like we knew nothing, but we did know enough about the actual cultivation of crops to make a good run for it. So we always say, Spencer and I always told each other, like, look, we just want to have this lifestyle. It doesn't matter if we're selling grapes and rabbits or, sweet potatoes and strawberries. This is the lifestyle we want, and let's make it work. So with that attitude, we just really haven't considered quitting or changing courses. I'd say, we've been full steam ahead since day one.
Yeah. You've just figured out how to make it work and then go from there.
Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about, the aspect of running the business. So, you've got, obviously it's the production aspect, and there's the running the business. Do you have any tips for folks, getting in, they're just starting the farming business side of things?
Yeah, I would say it's got to be a business. The least sustainable thing you can do is go out of business. And so the revenue side of the business has to be the top priority. We looked at it as a business from day one, not necessarily from the standpoint of like a lifestyle, or like, a subsistence enterprise. And it's hard running a business, but if we weren't focused on the business aspect, I don't think we would be lasting. I don't think we'd be in year 5, basically.
Yeah. Now, do you guys, do you cut crops based on profitability, or are you you have to grow like a wide variety just to keep people coming back? As long as the overall business is making money, you're okay with, let's say, growing winter squash?
No, I mean, winter squash is an exception. We probably shouldn't grow it, but we do grow a fairly narrow assortment of crops. Customers, beg us to grow certain things every year, and we're just not going to do it. And I can't say we've lost customers over that, but people would love it if we were to grow strawberries and sweet corn. But we're never going to grow strawberries and sweet corn. It just won't make sense on our scale. We definitely are paying attention to the profitability of each crop. I mean, that said, we have a few built-in buffers, which is our wholesale crops. So, spring mix lettuce, we're doing about 280 pounds a week for 26 to 30 weeks of the year. And then microgreens, we're selling, 52 weeks of the year. And because those crops are such standbys, we can't afford to grow things like winter squash. What's another low profit? Maybe leeks are a low profit crop too. So we do grow those things, even though we're not making nearly as much money per bed foot or per hour worked or whatever on them.
Yeah. But everyone loves a good leek.
Oh yeah. They're satisfying.
Yeah. Now with leeks, do you just, you paper pot those?
No, we don't. We dibble them.
Okay.
We dibble
Bare
them.
ground though.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I don't see a lot of you guys using a lot of fabric or anything like that. It sounds like you're mostly bare ground.
Yeah. We're mostly bare ground. We don't, winter squash is the exception. We put fabric around that, but
yeah,
nothing else.
All right. Very cool. Well, anything else you'd like to share with us before we go?
No. Any last questions?
Spinach. I'm looking at this picture of spinach on your website. Do you
Sure.
use a greens cutter to cut that, or do you cut that by hand?
In the summer, we'll use a greens cutter for it. It's a one
Okay.
and done, and we'll wholesale it that way. And then in the winter, we're finger picking and
Okay.
just reset it. So the leaves
Yeah.
are a bit bigger, takes longer, but higher price per pound.
And higher quality because you're not getting cut leaves with hand picking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you're doing the once and done, it looks like, is that like 5 rows per 30-inch bed?
That's right. Yep.
And what variety do you like for the greens cutter?
We're using lizard.
Okay. Yeah.
We do like a lot, but we're always trialing since you never know when lizard's going to disappear or if there's more downy mildew races. But right now we're doing lizard.
Yeah. This fall we've been liking Sun Angel. That's a new one from
cool.
Johnny's. And then of course the red vein spinach. We always like that. We had some trouble this year with because Johnny's carried 2 varieties and I didn't really look into it. And one was terrible and one was good. So we ended up with the terrible one most of the season.
Bummer.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, we do like that because it's faster and it's just another interesting, we call it Christmas spinach. So it kind of has pretty good, name recognition for that. So
yeah, that's great. Cool.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. Appreciate your time and best of luck to you and Spencer out there and your little baby daughter. And hopefully we'll run into each other some future date.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks so much, Michael.
All right. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
Hey, Thriving Farmers, have you checked us out on YouTube lately? We have a bunch of new content there, including a few rants by me. I want to tell you, you don't want to miss them. I actually go rant about, some of the problems I see in our space and some of the challenges I see farmers facing. So go check that out. We've got instructional videos over there as well. Talk about setting up our new farm here in Ohio and all the steps we're going to do that, as well as just tutorials and tips on best practices for all sorts of things on the farm. So go ahead, check over at Growing Farmers on YouTube and see the new content we put together for you. So there you have it, another episode in the books. So I'd love if you would hop on over to iTunes and leave us a rating and a review. Those mean everything to us. We love to hear what you're thinking. If you have a podcast guest that you can recommend, please pop on over to the Thriving Farmer Podcast website and leave us a review. That's thrivingfarmerpodcast.com.